Magandang buhay, Leontians! Welcome on today's episode of MATHtuto with Teacher Jacq. Ihanda natin ang ating tainga, ang ating isip at ang ating puso at sabay-sabay tayong MATHtuto. Our topic for today is about percentage, rate, and base of a number. Before we proceed on our discussion, let's have a drill first on converting percent to decimal and vice versa. So, convert 60% into decimal. Very good. It's 0.60. 35%, 0.35. 4%, good job, 0.04. 2%, good job, 0.02. 173%, correct, 1.73. And 102%, correct, 1.02. Now, let's convert decimal numbers into percent. We have 0.50, correct, 50%. 0.65, correct, 65%. 0.08, correct, 8%. 0.06, right, 6%. 1.83, yes, we have 183%. And for 1.09, correct, we have 109%. In solving math problems pertaining to percentage, there are three components that need to be identified. They are the base, rate, and the percentage. Now, let's have the definition of base. When we say base, it is the totality or the whole. Next is percentage. It is part of the totality. And then when we say rate, it is the ratio of the percentage to the base. It is usually in percent form or decimal form. Let's have some examples and try to determine which is the base, the rate, and percentage. Okay, first we have what is 25% of 2,500. So our given here are 25% and 2,500. Okay, so yung 25%, ito yung ating rate. Kasi sa rate, it is usually in percent. Okay, so kapag may sign siya ng percent, automatic yun yung rate. And then yung 2,500, ito yung ating base. Okay, next question. What percent of 24 is 6? So, ang ating given ay 24 and 6. So, take a look at our given. Walang may symbol ng percent dyan. So, ibig sabihin, missing yung ating rate. Okay? So, yung 24, ito yung ating base. And yung 6, yun ang ating percentage. So, always remember, kapag ka ang hinahanap ay rate, ang ating given na base at percentage, laging mas mataas ang number ni base kaysa kay percentage. Kasi, si base, iyon yung total, then yung percentage, iyon yung part ng total. Next, we have 84 is 60% of what number? So, ang ating given ay 84 and 60%. Okay, sa Tagalog sabi niya ang 84 daw ay 60% ng anong number. So, yung 84 dito, ito yung ating percentage. Then, yung may sign ng percent, yun yung ating rate. And ang hinahanap dito ay ang base. A grade 5 class has 48 students. 75% of them have done their assignment in math. How many grade 5 students have done their assignment in math? So, ang ating given ay 48 students and 75%. So, ibig sabihin, ang grade 5 class daw ay merong 48 students sa kabuuan. And then, yung 75% ng estudyante ng grade 5, yun ang gumawa ng assignment sa math. Then, ang tanong, ilan daw na grade 5 students ang nakagawa ng assignment sa math? Okay, so, ayusin natin ang ating given. Yung ating base or yung total ay 48 students. And then yung 75%, kagaya ng sinabi ko, kapag ka may sign ng percent, ito yung ating rate. So therefore, yung rate natin ay 75%. At ang hinahanap natin ay yung percentage. Let's have another example. Everybody please read with me. Of the 50 grade 5 pupils in a class, 40 are always participating actively. What percent of the pupils are always participating actively in the class? Okay, let's identify our given. So we have 50 or 50 grade 5 pupils in a class. And then the next one is 40 or 40, yun yung mga pupils na nagpa-participate actively. Okay, so ang nawawala natin ay yung rate dahil ang ating mga given ay walang sign ng percent. So kapag ka ang ating given ay base and percentage, lagi nating tatandaan na mas mataas si base kaysa kay percentage. Kasi si base, iyon yung total, yung percentage, iyon yung part or portion ng total. So, therefore, ang ating base ay 50 and ang ating percentage ay 40. And then, we are looking for the rate. Let's have another example. There are 20 boys in the playground. This is 10% of the children in the playground. How many children are there in the playground? So, ibig sabihin, meron daw 20 boys sa playground. At yung 20 boys daw na yon ay ang 10% ng lahat ng bata na nasa playground. So, ang tanong, ilan daw ang lahat ng bata na nasa playground? So, identify natin ang ating given. Ang ating given ay 20 boys in the playground and then yung 10%. So, ibig sabihin, ang ating given, meron tayong rate, which is 10%. Kasi, sabi ko, yung may sign ng percent, yun lagi yung rate. And then, we have the percentage na 20. Kasi, yung 20 boys, iyon yung portion or part ng lahat ng mga bata na nasa playground. So, ang hinahanap natin ngayon ay yung base or the total number of children na nasa We'll be using the magic triangle in discussing the formulas in finding the percentage, rate, and base. Okay, so take a look at the illustration. The letter P on the upper part stands for percentage. The letter R on the lower part, sa left side, ito yung ating rate. And then yung sa right side, lower part, ito naman yung ating base. Okay, if letter P or percentage is missing, our formula is P is equals to R times B or percentage is equals to rate multiplied by base. If our rate is missing, our formula is P over B, or rate is equals to percentage divided by base. And then the last one, if our base is missing, our formula is percentage divided by rate, or B is equals to P over R. Now let's do the solving. So we have, what is 56% of 679? Our given are 56% and 679. So sabi sa discussion, kapag may sign siya ng percent, ito lagi yung ating rate. And then yung 679, ito yung ating base. So tandaan lamang sa pag-identify kay base, ito yung number na nakasulat after ng word na of. Okay, so tignan natin yung ating magic triangle, nawawala si percentage. So ang ating formula is P is equals to R times B, or percentage is equals to rate times base. Substitute natin. So P is equals to, yung rate natin ay 56%, multiplied by base, which is 679. Now, let us change the rate or percent to decimal form by moving the decimal point 2 places to the left. Okay, so nandito yung decimal point, i-move natin siya ng 2 places to the left. So, 1, 2. So, dito niyan natin ilalagay yung decimal point. Kaya meron tayong 0.56. So, another way in converting percent form into decimal form is, itong 56, i-divide mo lang siya kay 100. Why 100? Kasi yung sign na percent ay equivalent to 100. So, 56 divided by 100 is equals to 0.56. Now, let us multiply. Kapag pinag-multiply mo siya, ang product na makukuha mo ay 380.24. Therefore, iyan yung ating percentage. What percent of 54 is 6? So, ang ating given ay 54 and 6. So, take a look at our given. Wala silang percent sign. So, therefore, nawawala si rate. So, ang ating 54 ay at 6 ay base and percentage. So, in identifying which is the base and which is the percentage, just always remember na yung base ay yung whole. And then yung percentage, iyon yung part or portion ng whole. So therefore, dapat laging mas mataas yung ating base kaysa kay percentage. So si 54, yun yung ating base. Then yung 6, yun yung ating percentage. So tignan natin si magic triangle. Nawawala si rate. So ang ating formula ay R is equals to P over B, or R is equals to P divided by B. So, substitute natin. R is equals to yung ating P, which is 6, divided by yung ating base, which is 54. So, 6 divided by 54 is equals to 1,111 thousandths. Now, we need to change the quotient in decimal to percent form by moving the decimal point 2 places to the right. So, ito yung ating decimal point. I-move natin siya ng 2 places to the right. So, 1, 2. Kaya ang ating sagot ay 11.11%. So, ang ating rate, ang ating final answer ay R is equals to 11.11%. We have 50 is 25% of what number? So, observe natin yung question. Kagaya ng sabi ko sa discussion natin, after ng word na of, iyon lagi yung base. So, dito, wala yung base natin. Kaya, ang missing or ang hahanapin natin ay yung base. So, ang ating given ay 50 and 25%. Yung 50, yun yung percentage. Then, of course, yung may percent sign, yun yung ating rate. So, tignan natin si magic triangle. Nawawala si base. So, ang formula natin ay P over R or B is equals to P divided by R. Substitute natin, B is equals to yung ating P, which is 50 divided by yung ating R, which is 25%. Now, we will change the rate or percent to decimal by moving 2 decimal places from left to right. Okay, so, start tayo dito, i-move natin ng 2 decimal places ang ating decimal points. So, 1, 2. Kaya meron tayong 0.25. Or, kung gusto nyo yung other way ng pag-convert ng percent into decimal form, ang gagawin lang ay 25 divided by 100. 100 kasi, ang equivalent ng percent ay 100. So, kapag kinuha mo ang quotient ni 25 divided by 100, ang ating sagot ay 0.25. So, 50 divided by 0.25 is equals to 200. Therefore, ang ating base ay 200. A grade 5 class has 48 students. 75% of them have done their assignment in math. How many grade 5 students have done their assignment in math? So, sa Tagalog, yung grade 5 class daw, meron silang 48 students. So, dun sa 48 students na yon, ang 75% gumawa ng kanilang assignment sa math. So, ang question, ilan daw sa grade 5 students ang gumawa ng assignment sa math? So, tignan natin ang ating given. Meron tayong 48 students and 75%. Okay? So, yung 48, yun yung ating base kasi yun yung total number of students ng grade 5 class. And of course, yung 75%, yun yung ating rate. So, nawawala ngayon yung ating percentage. Tignan natin si magic triangle. Nawawala si percentage. So, ang ating formula ay rate times base. So, P is equals to R times B. Substitute natin. P is equals to yung ating rate na 75% multiplied by base, which is 48. Now, we need to change the rate or percent to decimal form by moving the decimal point 2 places to the left. So, nandito yung ating decimal point, i-move lang natin siya ng 2 places to the left. So, 1, 2. That's why meron tayong 0.75. Or the other way ng pag-convert ng percent form into decimal form, ang gagawin lang 75 divided by 100. Ang makukuha din nating sagot ay same lang na 0.75. So, 0.75 multiplied by 48, ang ating product ay 36. Therefore, ang ating percentage is equals to 36. Next, we have, there are 20 boys in the playground. This is 10% of the children in the playground. How many children are there in the playground? So, ang ibig sabihin, meron daw 20 boys na nasa playground. At ang 20 boys na to ay 10% lamang ng lahat ng bata na nasa playground. So, the question is, ilan daw lahat ang total ng bata na nasa playground? So, ang ating given ay 20 boys at 10%. So, alam natin na kapag may sign ng percent, ito lagi yung ating rate. So, ang ating rate ay 10% at ang ating percentage ay 20. Let us look at our magic triangle. So, letter B is missing. So, ang ating formula ay B is equals to P over R or B is equals to P divided by R. Substitute natin. B is equals to, ang ating P ay 20 divided by rate, which is 10%. Now, we will change the rate or percent to decimal by moving the decimal point 2 places to the left. Okay, so ito ang ating decimal point. I-move natin siya ng 2 places. 1, 2. That's why ang ating rate ay 0.10. Okay, so pwede din namang the other way ng pag-convert ng percent form into decimal form. Yung 10, i-divide mo siya kay 100. 100 because yung sign ng percent ay equivalent to 100 at ang makukuha mong quotient ay same lang na 0.10. So, b is equals to 20 divided by 0.10. So, ang ating final answer is b is equals to 200. So, ang total number ng children na nasa playground ay 200. For our last word problem, we have, of the 50 grade 5 pupils in a class, 40 are always participating actively. What percent of the pupils are always participating actively in the class? So, kung i-observe natin yung ating word problem, tignan natin yung what is asked. Ang sabi niya ay what percent. So, when we are talking about percent, ito yung rate. So, nawawala si rate. Ngayon, tignan natin ang ating given. We have 50 and 40. So, lagi lang nating tatandaan na laging mas mataas ang value ni base kaysa kay percentage. Dahil si base, iyon yung totality, and then yung percentage, iyon yung part or portion ng total. So, ang ating base ay 50 at ang ating percentage ay 40. And then the rate is missing. So, kapag nawawala si rate, ang ating formula ay P over B or R is equals to P divided by B. Now, let us substitute. R is equals to, ang ating P ay 40 divided by B or base, which is 50. So, 40 divided by 50 is equals to 0.8. Now, we need to change the quotient in decimal to percent by moving the decimal point 2 places to the right. So, andito ang ating decimal point. I-move natin siya ng 2 places to the right. So, let us move. Okay, so, decimal point, move ng 2 places. We have 1, 2. Dahil minove natin siya ng 2, ang ating sagot ay rate is equals to 80%. Now, to sum up our discussion, let us always remember that the rate is the quantity expressed as percent. It is always with a percentage sign. And yung percentage without percent sign, it is the part of the base determined by the rate. Or ito yung portion nung total natin or ng ating base. And when we say base without percent sign, and it refers to the whole on which the rate is applied. So, lagi lang tatandaan, si rate yung may percent sign, si percentage, iyon yung part or portion ng ating base. At ang ating base, ito yung totality or kabuuan. So, between base and percentage, always remember na mas mataas lagi ang value ng base kaysa kay percentage. And for the formulas, kapag nawawala si P, ang ating formula ay rate times base. Kapag nawawala naman si rate, ang ating formula ay P divided by base or P over B. At kapag naman ang nawawala natin ay si base, ang ating formula ay B is equals to P over R. Or B is equals to P divided by R.
There you have it, kids! I know that you've learned a lot on today's episode. A friendly reminder, kids, don't forget to answer your activities for this week's lesson that can be found in your module. If you have some queries or questions, don't hesitate to chat Teacher Jacq on my messenger account or on our Messenger group chat. Kita-kita tayong muli mga bata sa susunod na episode ng MATHtuto with Teacher Jacq.
Thank you so much for watching and listening on this video. Kung hindi ka pa nakasubscribe sa aking YouTube channel, i-click lang ang subscribe and don't forget to hit the notification bell para lagi kang updated sa mga bagong video lessons ko. Maraming salamat! God bless! Bye-bye!